That's a memo. Now, for the top story tonight, is Dick Cheney right about Sarah Palin and who would be the best choice for Mitt Romney? Joining us now from Washington, Sabrina Schaefer from the Independent Women's Forum, and Mark Thiessen, former chief speechwriter for President Bush the Younger. So what about Cheney's assessment of Governor Palin, Mr. Thiessen?
Well, I think he's effectively right, and I don't think he was trying to denigrate Sarah Palin. He's had a lot of nice things to say, as you played on the broadcast about her, and I think it's also clear, as you pointed out, that John McCain didn't lose because of Sarah Palin. He lost because John McCain ran one of the most inept presidential campaigns in modern history. But I think that the vice president was trying to make a point about the kind of VP that Romney should pick, and I think he's too modest to put it this way, but I think what he's trying to say is that Romney needs a VP like Dick Cheney. He needs someone who's going to have instant gravitas, with the instant credibility with conservatives, and is going to be seen as one of their own, but also somebody who's got the gravitas and is seen as ready to take on the presidency on the first day, in his first day in office. And the reason that's important is that Obama is running a strategy trashing Mitt Romney and trying to paint his ticket as an unacceptable alternative. He understands that millions of people have made the decision to make a change, and the only way he can stop them is by convincing them that the Romney ticket, with whoever he puts on it, is an unacceptable alternative. So I think Romney is going to pick somebody, along Dick Cheney's advice, who is going to energize conservatives, but at the same time is going to have Cheney-like gravitas and seen as being someone who could step right into the presidency.
And who would that be?
I think that the most likely pick is Paul Ryan.
All right, let me stop you there, because I want to get to. So you say you believe Paul Ryan will get it, and we'll get back to why. All right, Ms.
Sure.
Schaefer. First of all, Dick Cheney on Sarah Palin.
No, I think it might be a little bit overblown. Let's just remember that at the time that he picked her, there was widespread enthusiasm. She breathed new life into a campaign that was, really rather pale in comparison to the sort of excitement that was surrounding Senator Obama's campaign. So I think that we need to remember that she did sort of an unprecedented role in terms of sparking voter turnout in a way that vice presidential candidates don't usually have.
All right, so the terms of the play dictated Palin because Senator Obama was perceived as young and hip and with it and change and hope, so they had to get this young person in to counter that. It makes sense. But as it unfolded, do you believe that most Americans, not ideologues, not conservatives, not diehard Republicans, felt that Governor Palin wasn't ready for the job, as Mr. Thiessen believes?
Well, I think that on one hand, they think that she was. She was a governor. She seemed to have a grasp on certain issues like energy policy, and perhaps most importantly, she seemed like one of us. She seemed like a regular American on many fronts. The problem was that it seemed as though she never really did the heavy lifting necessary to convince all voters and sort of more mainstream voters that she was going to.
I don't know if you can lift up a frame of reference in 6 months. That was the problem with the governor. The frame of reference wasn't strong. Okay, Ms. Schaefer, who do you think should be Romney's pick?
Well, I tend to be leaning towards Marco Rubio. I think that, he is sort of the darling of the Tea Party. He gives some conviction and backbone to Romney, who at times has been doubted for his limited government sort of bona fides. I think people want to see that there's someone out there. So you're making an ideological pick here for Mr. Rubio. But remember, he doesn't have a lot of experience, like Sarah Palin, and they're going to go after him hard. You know that. They are. But I think that sometimes we talk about him as a darling of the Tea Party, but in fact he's more part of the establishment than we sometimes let on. I think he is particularly politically savvy more than someone like Sarah Palin was. And also, let's not forget, he may have a marginal impact with Hispanic voters. Yeah.
All right. Now, getting back to Paul Ryan, 42 years old, well respected in Republican circles, but kind of a intellectual guy, he got the charts and then, the folks, I'm not sure what that brings Mitt Romney. Wisconsin, it's not like Ohio and Florida or Virginia where you got to have those. Romney doesn't have to have Wisconsin. So I don't know about if Ryan's in the right place. I think he's a smart guy. I think he could do the job, but I don't know if he's in the right place.
Well, Bush didn't pick Dick Cheney for Wisconsin's one electoral vote either. I mean, you know, there's more to choosing the vice president than that. And look, Marco Rubio would be a fantastic choice. So would Rob Portman. We have a lot of great candidates. But you asked us to pick who we think will be the nominee. And I think that Mitt Romney looks at Paul Ryan and sees two things. He sees, one, somebody who he thinks is credible and has gravitas and is serious and will be instantly taken as a serious person and capable of being president. And so I think in that sense he sees him as a safe choice, someone who will be taken seriously and out there. But at the same time, Paul Ryan energized conservatives with the Ryan plan and with his budget. And I think he is the one person who is both a safe choice, but also Mitt Romney would know that he would energize the conservative grassroots. People would be excited about a Ryan pick. And so I think that's why he's the most likely person to get the nod.
Okay. And you say, Ms. Schaefer, putting Ryan up against Rubio, has Mr. Thiessen persuaded you?
Well, I definitely am enthused about Paul Ryan. I think one thing to keep in mind is that we have nearly 30% unemployment in the Hispanic community. So there is something to be said for real change, and that if Rubio can help convince, you know, the Hispanic Latino community. It's hard to say whether he's going to be able
to do that. A Cuban American.
It is. Right, I understand.
What Rubio would do, without a doubt, is I think throw Florida to Mitt Romney. Right. And it's an enormous calculation.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think Paul Ryan, you know, is fantastic. I mean, look, we're going towards a national debt of $16 trillion. The fact that we have someone out there
but it's about votes now. That's what it's about.
And personality.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much. Good discussion. We appreciate it. Next on the Rundown.